I was very depressed. The love of my life broke up with me that week. And on this day, like many others, I was pleading with him to come back to me. He made it so clear it was over that day. I felt the most pain in my heart, soul, and being on that day, I cannot even describe it. I never felt anything even close to that pain, except for on that day and some months after that day. I decided no one could possibly live in such pain, and I could tell it would never really go away, so I should just reboot like the computer does. I had to end the pain, and now. I walked, while crying tremendously and loudly, up this gentle slope to an old oak tree. I climbed up the tree, tied the rope around my neck while sitting on this very large limb, 18 inches in diameter. My love, who was breaking up with me, was at the base of the slope fixing one of his automobiles. He saw me, but looked at me rarely. Then I tied the rope to the limb and stood up. He must have realized I was not kidding around because he finally started to make his way up the slope. Then I noticed he was saying something. I can't remember what I said. And then I noticed he began to run. Then I knew he was going to try to stop me, so I jumped. He was a very agile and strong. He somehow made it up into the tree while I was still in the air. The next thing I knew, I landed violently on his lap, as he was now somehow sitting in the crotch of this limb where it met with the main trunk of the tree. I remember it felt nice to be sitting in the lap of the man I loved so dearly. Then I felt the rope tighten suddenly, and this is where it gets there. I can't remember all of it, but there was brown and white like a movie to my right, which would be mostly in the direction of south, and I was there for a while. And I seem to remember that I was hanging there in that brown and white movie. I was hanging from the tree dead, and then the feelings, or should I say sensations, began. I felt the most intense levels of sadness, joy, ecstasy, bliss, love, anger, stillness, and many other things like that which I don't have words for. I remember even feeling the best orgasm that I have never even had before. But all these were very fast, like milliseconds, all these sensations rushing through me, even some that vibrated my whole body in an energetic like way. What is that? I have never felt that before and had no word for it, and I feel it now as I type. That's weird. Anyway, I also remember some other pictures of my life, but they went so fast I could remember the sensations much, much better than what the pictures actually were, other than the one of me hanging there. Then to my right, or south, was a rainbow door, an almost perfectly square rainbow door. That damn door, I knew I had seen it before but never really acknowledged it. But now I had to because there it was so clear, and I could see me doing what I had been doing over the past 5 or more years prior to that day. I could see me sitting on the west side of that door, laughing inside my head, thinking I was getting away with something by not going through that door. And then there, I was dancing around the front of the door, almost mocking it. I would put one foot inside the door and one foot out as part of my dance. I would stick my whole head in there and see the two paths that existed on the other side of that door. The one to the left is the one that my knowing knew to be the one I was to take. That was it. I remember now coughing and feeling very dizzy as I lay on this large limb, with parts of my leg still touching that man I loved. Then I could hear him say, "What a drama queen." I was still too dizzy to respond or even get up. I remember how comfortable I was laying on that limb. I am, after all, a serious lover of trees. He then laughed a short, somewhat quiet laugh and said, for me to quit with all the act. I was still shaking. I began to weep a little from his remarks. He then said, "Come on already, get up." He helped me to sit up partially. I told him to let me be a little and that I was still a bit dizzy. He said, okay. He gave me a lot of time up there in that tree to breathe and reflect. He finally asked if I was okay. I said yes, but that I just needed a little more time to rest there. I laid back down on the limb. It had a lot of soft moss. I told the tree I loved it, or something like that. Finally, I got up, and he helped me down from the tree. Since I almost succeeded in hanging myself, my old lover who caught and saved me at the last minute was so angry he decided to choke me. I don't think he realized he choked me to near death. I think he just was so mad he was trying to only shake me up. A tiny bit, but not to that extent. I later went and had a Reiki session, and it helped me to better understand the whole experience.